In the world of software, however, this gets pretty complicated because the FDA, European regulators, the EMA, MHRA, and so on, haven't been specific about, well, is a security patch to the database the software is running on require revalidation? If we change the server that it's running on, does that require revalidation? And so on. And even less is there clarity and guidance on, well, if I'm running my data center by a third party like a Hitachi or a CSC, do their sysadmin folks who have access to my data, what controls need to be in place? How do I have to manage their process of keeping their environment up to date? Does that require revalidation and so on? Very challenging topic, and folks were joking at DIA last week that if you ask 5 people for what validation in the cloud SaaS world means, you'd get 6 to 7 different answers. So let me try to net out what I've taken away from studying this problem over the last 6 to 8 months, and then some really good conversations I had with some industry veterans last week at DIA. 1, really there's no difference between what's required for FDA validation of computer software used by the pharmaceutical industry, cloud SaaS included. There's no difference between that and what a well-running IT shop would do anyway in terms of its systems. Here's what I mean. If you're a well-run IT shop, you wouldn't ever apply a security patch, for example, into any one of your environments without a whole host of controls and checks on it. Nor would you do anything more drastic. You would never swap out a server without a whole host of controls, audit trails, who's doing what, how have they been trained, have we tested this change, what are the potential impacts and risks, and then once the change is made, testing all of the production systems that rely on that change or that change piece of equipment to make sure they're functioning. Especially if you went to something like an upgrade to a piece of software or introducing new software. So none of that has to be any different because the FDA is validating, because it's a GXP process rather than just a financial or back office or HR process. But here's what is different. There's a people process layer to FDA validation that requires that all the human beings, all the employees who are going to be involved in that system that's being validated have been trained sufficiently on GXP policy, procedure. They understand the significance of data integrity, system integrity, process integrity, the quality output in a GXP environment. And that's where the difference comes in between regular, good old-fashioned IT release management and quality and validation for FDA. So, when you think about cloud and SaaS, the challenges become, well, look, because in-house I have access to all the people who have access to my system, and I can ensure that they're trained. Now, with cloud and SaaS, I don't. There's the folks who maintain the software that's software as a service. Do I have access to all of them to ensure they've been trained in GXP? What about the fact that that SaaS product might be hosted in a third-party data center? Do all the folks in that data center who have access to my corporate data as sysadmins, have they been trained on GXP? Do I even know that it's being outsourced? And so on. So, the critical thing to remember when you think about cloud and SaaS validation is, 1, make sure that you're going to be accounting for how you're going to keep doing the same kind of good IT practices you're doing today on your internal on-premises systems. And 2, make sure you understand the people and their roles who are going to be touching your data and your system in any way now that it's cloud SaaS, and determine how you're going to ensure that they are trained to understand the GXP environment. Now, it's easier said than done, and it certainly isn't a silver bullet, but that's the direction you need to go. And as we say, the devil's in the details from there. Anyway, thank you, and I look forward to meeting some of you out there and continuing this conversation in person.